Good morning. So, as you can see, I'm based in Singapore and running the business for the so-called DX, Developer Experience and Evangelism. As you know, we have recently merged with Nokia, and we are happy that we are working as one team, especially on the developer experience and how the new look and feel for the apps should look like on the different devices. So, as you also know, our CEO, our new CEO, his slogan is mobile first, cloud first. So our company is going with a high speed to become a mobile first and also cloud first company. So it means the big part of our development research goes into this direction, how we can also make products that we have, the legacy products that we have, also cloud enabled. So it means also in research, development, many things in this direction happens. Now, the agenda of, that's here, my sticker. Unfortunately, the resolution is very bad. You cannot see what is here on the agenda. I'm so sorry about that, but almost nothing you can see here on this screen. I want to actually share with you the mobile trends, what we see, what is the momentum that Microsoft has. Probably, and again, that's probably you cannot follow all of the inputs, everything on this screen because of the resolution. I will try to make it as visible as possible for you that you can follow me. What about the Microsoft momentum? Technology-wise, what we are going to do, and especially what we are going to do for the developers and how we are going to support the developers, and especially, you know, the gaming company, the gaming community. Okay, we can see this picture. Actually, the mobile, it's not a secret that, you know, the percentage of usage of a smartphone is increasing dramatically. So as an example, you see on the, and by the way, that's actually for the people who doesn't use Nokia devices or you know, Windows 8, that's the tile concept that we have. It's based on the new UI design that came up with our Windows 8 development. So as an example, the 55.1% is showing the percentage of new shipments that are smartphones. So it means above 50% is using smartphones. There are numbers about the number of millions users that in the fourth quarter have already bought a smartphone. Interestingly, it's also the usage of a smartphone, especially among the teenagers, you know, in the age of 13 to 17. These people, and the majority of these guys are also gamers, who are using the smartphone and spending their time on these smartphones. And also in this part of the world, especially, you know, if you go to Korea, you know that maybe 99%, that I have recently read, 99% of the people have, 99% of the population has a smartphone. Almost everybody has a smartphone. And the penetration is becoming very high, and also, you know, and also in all of the markets that we have. As an example, as you have seen at the beginning, I'm running the business for APAC. So Australia is part of this business, Korea, but also emerging markets like Thailand, Vietnam. It's amazing to see what happens there. What are the apps? What are the ecosystem? How this ecosystem, how healthy is this ecosystem that is developing apps, gaming, and so on. As an example, I'm coming actually, I was on Saturday in a hackathon in 3 different cities in Vietnam, in Da Nang, in Hanoi, and in Ho Chi Minh City, where the students have developed new apps, also game apps that could be really comparable to Flappy Bird, you know, in the different different teams and working on the different projects and with the high quality apps that are generated. So it's a huge momentum there, and it was actually at the, as I've heard, as the colleague of us from Line has mentioned about availability of Line of Windows platform. Yes, it's available, and his point was, yeah, maybe that the market or the market penetration is not high. The reality is, in different markets that we are owning and we are driving, we are seeing big penetration. I will show it to you just in a couple of minutes. Apps is becoming the most important thing. So let me, as an example, the number that you see, people in, that's a US number, 2 hours and 38 minutes spending time with their phone, with their smartphone and tablets. And 80% of this time goes into apps. So apps is becoming more and more a part of our life. That's one thing. The second thing is the economy that is associated with this. If I'm talking about the economy, so it's an app economy. It's an app economy, it's an ecosystem that is generated. The numbers for apps developed, so the revenue coming from apps was back to 2012, roughly 12 billion. Now is going toward 20 billion. And there are some prognoses that are saying, you know, what's going to be in time frame, maybe in another 2-3 years from now, which is going to be much bigger numbers. The number of downloads. So, and you know, if you go back maybe 5 years ago, back to 2012, the number of downloads was something like 80 billion. Within 1 year has increased to 2 times, so up to 165. The pace is exponential, and you know, the number of apps that are coming up, that the people who are developing apps is becoming bigger and bigger. So again, it's an economy there, it's an app economy there. Now, that's actually from our, the numbers from the competition, but I'm just showing you to show one thing. And the most important point is, almost, if you go through the 400 top apps in the different stores, you see the majority of them, almost, or not the majority, half of them are games. And in the different stores, roughly 90%, 70 to 90% of revenue coming because of the games. And if you see, as an example, Korea is one case. Hopefully you can follow this. 94% is even in the Google Play in Korea coming from games. I want to show this to importance of games. And again, as I've mentioned before, coming actually during the weekend I was in Vietnam, and I have seen only games that are right now being developed by the developer community in Vietnam, Thailand, and so on. Now, Microsoft momentum. So what Microsoft is doing. And a couple of stats here, that is Windows Phone is with the operating system, Windows 8, that we have on this phone, and also on our platform, our tablet platform, becoming very high traction and also popularity. So as an example, if you go to Vietnam, if you go to Thailand, if you go to other countries, and there are a big bunch of countries here, that we are number 2 with regard to shipment of the new smartphones, surpassing actually Windows, surpassing also iPhone. So it's becoming a very interesting device, and many people are buying, using this. Probably you have followed the recent announcement 6 weeks ago at Build in San Francisco. There are new devices that are available, meanwhile available. That's Lumia 630, 635. If you have a look, you see also first of all, from the performance, from the look and feel, it's very, very interesting, and also from price point, very competitive devices that are available. And again, many people are using this. We are right now in the Casual Connect, the community who is working in APAC, and APAC is much bigger than just only be, you know, in Korea or in Singapore and so on. I have, as an example, as mentioned, developers are developing in Vietnam for the global market. That's actually the power of global economy and also app economy, that is no longer focused on just only one territory and one country, has an impact on the global, as a global app, at the global level. So, and we are outselling in different countries. Again, I'm bringing out with regard to Vietnam or Thailand because that's my market. There are Czech Republic here, there are Italy here, but that's not my market that I can talk about. But I have a feeling about, you know, the ecosystem and the developer that we are working with them in APAC and what they are doing. Now, how we are doing with regard to the ecosystem. That's actually the part that I, with my team, taking care of them. So it means how we are working with the ecosystem and the developer ecosystem, motivating them, making them ready to develop apps for our platform. And there are some stats again that you can see. As an example, as of today, in our Windows Phone environment, we have got more than 250K apps. And we are very cautious that, you know, in the certification process that of the apps, that, you know, also we are helping the developers that they are developing high quality apps. Because, you know, there are maybe, you know, in different stores, there are a big number of apps, but the question is, in the second wave, people will see what is the app that they are really want. Each of us maybe use 30 apps, 20 apps or less. But in the second wave of usage of apps, people are going to be very, very cautious. What is the app that really matters to me and is important to me? Is my banking app? Is my office app? Is my app because I'm playing golf, I'm playing tennis? It's going to be I don't want to say necessarily small, but a limited number relatively to the big number of apps, and that's actually going to be the number of apps that everybody is going to play with. Now, one more stat that is you see on the right side, that we are hearing also more and more from the developer ecosystem, that they are more interested to develop apps for phone. And the reason is because of what I have shown you, the availability of the devices, the assortment of the devices. We are also working with the different OEMs to have phone in the market. Nokia is part of Microsoft, but there are also the ecosystem is much bigger, that we are working with them to develop more, to have more devices available with our phone platform. That's one part of the story. The other part of the story that we have is, at the Build conference in San Francisco, we have announced that we don't want the app that we are developing, we want that this app can be available on the different platforms from a development perspective. So it means if I am a developer using a tool, I have the templates which helping me to have the code, to develop the code and compile it for different platforms. So it means the app that I am developing, after that, after this compilation, can be available on the phone platform, on a tablet platform, PC platform, and also on my Xbox, even on my Xbox. But again, that's a template. That I'm using my Visual Studio, working with Visual Studio, developing my code, and then in the project I'm saying, okay, this project has to go and deploy it on the phone platform, on the tablet platform, and so on. So it means it gives the developer, based on the knowledge that they have JavaScript knowledge, HTML5, C#, VB, and so on, staying in this asset, what they know, and developing the code which is going to this platform. That is Microsoft platform. Now, and also at the Build, we have also announced from a consumer perspective, from a customer perspective, that the app that you are buying on one platform, you can use it also on the other platform. So that's what we have announced. So it means if an app, I have bought it actually on my phone, I can use it also on my PC, which is based on my Windows 8. Now, mobile first, our strategy with regard to mobile first, cloud first. Mobile first, cloud first, it means also opening up to a majority of the developers. Doesn't matter for which platform they are developing. We know that the developer who are developing games, they are not only going to be focused on the Windows platform. They would love that they do this, but probably they are going also to have this app also available on the Windows, on Android and iPhone and so on. We would love that they are, as the first mover, developing on our platform, and the reason is because of the availability of these apps on the store, discoverability is much better, and all of these things we would love actually animate and help the people that they are using more our platform, but nevertheless, we have to open up and support a variety of the platforms. And that's actually what we are doing with our product, to support mobile first. And as you can see, as an example, with our development tools, we can develop the code based on C, everything that is needed for the backend system based on .NET. But, and that is actually the right side of the story, to build also native UI for the different platforms. So using the different plugins, as an example, Xamarin is one of these plugins. And with this plugin, what we are able to do is to develop the native code that is going to be available after that and deployed on the different UI platform. So again, I'm talking from a developer perspective, from an ecosystem perspective. If I am a developer, take the opportunity to use with one tool which is helping me not only to deliver on one platform, but also support the other platforms. And that's what we are doing as the company. It's no longer the point that we are saying, okay, we are just only focusing on our platform. No, we are also supporting the other platforms because we know that the world has changed. The world is not just only Microsoft. The world is bigger, and the world, and what we have to do is to support the community, especially the developer community, that they are very, very productive and efficient in the way how they are working and developing apps for their customers. I'm talking about the openness, and that's actually also what we have announced at the Build conference, that the majority of the technologies that we are providing with regard to the .NET, ASP.NET, and so on, they are becoming actually open source, and it's available then in the open source community, GitHub, and everything. So that is also part of our story as Microsoft. Open it up and be as part of the bigger ecosystem, because we do now also there is many, many projects that are using open source components, and we are opening up also in this way. Now, I've talked about Microsoft availability of these codes on the different kind of devices that we have based on our Windows platform, tooling that is supporting the native development for the competitive platform as well. Now the question is, all of these apps that we are writing has to use something in the back end. And the back end, we know everybody is right now talking about cloud. Cloud, because cloud has a couple of components that are very interesting. One component is scaling up, scaling down, based on your need, on demand. The third thing, and that's I think very important, is self-service. I can use the cloud with my own, tools, with my portal to communicate with the cloud. I don't need an extra, administrator and so on who is helping me. That's actually cloud, and we see more and more people are using cloud because they don't need to have their own environment. They don't need an administrator and so on. Just put it, use as if I am using the power from the plug. I am using the cloud for my CPU, for my instances, for my storage, to have blobs, everything on this. So as an example, and with our solution for the cloud that is also supporting all of the platforms, is we are supporting not only software as a service or infrastructure service, but also the platform as a service. So developing of apps on the background, which are using, as an example, service buses. That's part of this platform, the so-called Azure platform. Probably, I think you know Titanfall title. The Titanfall, this game is actually using Azure platform and is hosted on 100,000 virtual machines. So that is showing actually the scalability of this platform to play online such a game like Titanfall in the cloud. A multiplayer game, online game that is hosted and use the instances, virtual machines of Azure. So again, there are cases that we are making these products available on the background, and they are really highly scalable with the big titles. For developer developing the back end, especially for the games, it's also very interesting and very important to have components with regard to authentication, with regard to push notification. And we know on the different platforms, in Android or iPhone, Windows, we have different push notifications. And using the services in the back end that translate the notification exactly to the device in the front end, it's the part that we can actually take away from a development effort and support it through the services that we are developing, that we have developed, and make it available also for the developers. So it means we are not only, based on this, what you have seen, supporting with regard to the development of UI, but also the back-end components that developer does need with regard to authentication, with regard to, as an example, with regard to push notification. We support this also for multiple platforms, and that's actually part of the services that we are delivering. So with that, I want to say what we are doing for, if you are talking about the mobile first, it means we are supporting different kind of platforms on the back end with the tool set and developing on the UI. It's not just only saying, okay, only Microsoft platform, mobile first, trying to cover as many as platforms, even they are competitive platforms. Now, we have also on this way with regard to building momentum for different kind of layers that you see. So if it comes as an example to ads, payment, and there are the names and brands that you know, and that we are actually using, and we are collaborating with them to even increase the ecosystem and also generate more momentum in the market. One thing that I would bring up is actually our collaboration also with Unity. If you go to the Unity 3DE website, you will see also a special part that is showing and saying, okay, if you are a Unity developer, you have a Unity game, and you can communicate your idea through this and apply for a special, a special offer from Microsoft. It's going to redirect you to a Microsoft site, which is giving you actually in the level 1 and level 2 benefits that the developer could use, and could also promote their app on our Microsoft platform. So we are also using this kind of connection and collaboration that we have with Unity to support the game developers who are developing on Unity, Unity 4, and so on, to move their apps onto their phone, because I think, and that's actually the reality right now, based on the market share that we have and what we are seeing right now, the momentum that we are seeing right now, that's a big opportunity for the people who are developing, who wants to develop for Microsoft platform, and not make it only on phone available, but also on the Windows 8 and also even later on the Xbox platform. So it means giving all of the tools, all of the things that is make a developer happy and also successful. There are many, many content that we have also on our website, and I encourage the developer among you, go actually to our website. We have a dev center, and on this dev center, there are so many information with regard to tools, with regard to the usage of development tools that are for free, that you can use. As an example, Visual Studio Express is being used by many people to develop their code. As I have shown you, you can also develop for the competitive platform. And also support with regard to, do you have an iOS app? What are the support, what are the tips, what are the hints to bring this app also on the Windows platform? And again, there is an opportunity there. The opportunity is the market is going up, especially in APAC, as I have told you. So even companies, that maybe, in Korea, you say, yeah, this game is only available on an Android platform, but Korea is also developing apps for the global market. Japan developing apps for the global market. But they can also not close the eye to see what the market is around them. And as I've mentioned to you, the market around us in APAC is booming for phone. I can, again, numbers that we have just give you an, without saying, some numbers. We have got from our corporation a target with regard to the, sorry, apps that we have to develop at APAC. We have got a budget. So we could triple the achievement of this budget that we have got. So it means there is a healthy ecosystem around us in APAC, which gives me the chance to grow much faster with regard to the apps and app development compared to my peers in the other part of the world. So it's a very, very booming market here that is really booming, and we are investing heavily in this ecosystem, and helping the developers to work on our platform. And there are, if you go to the different markets again in Southeast Asia, you will see apps and the number of download of these apps that are much higher than competitive platform. Again, what I am saying is an opportunity there. Don't miss this opportunity. So many content here that are available, and people could use it. And with that, thank you very much for your attention. Have a great day and have a good event. Thank you.